back to Two Sides of the Game podcast, man. It's your boy Big Tone, my brother A-Wax in the building, man. We had to come back, kick it off another episode. I know it's been a while, man, but we decided to do this show, man, solely pretty much to the neck, man, with me and my bro. We have so much good conversation and things to talk about, and we don't want to strictly depend on the guest every time, man, because that's something that we have not hard to find, but it's hard to get somebody we're interested. We're always debating on who should we have on next. We have a lot of future guests we're gonna get, but we're like, let's get together on our own, bro. Kick our own game, our own conversation, bro. And that's why we're here today, man. So Two Sides of the Game podcast. We back in this motherfucker, man.
Yeah, we be just on regular conversation, casual conversation. We'll get onto it. We'll just be like, what's up, man? What we doing today? And it'll turn to a 40-minute conversation. Like,
Straight
damn, bro, we need to turn the cameras on and podcast this thing, man.
So much good content goes behind the scenes. And it's rare. I don't have too many individuals I conversate with like that where I just hit up and chop it up and get in that kind of depth of conversation. Not saying I don't people, but it's just I don't have that in common with a lot of people where we could just bounce ideas off each other. And I'm like, bro, if we just had the mic rolling or the cameras rolling, we kicking game, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because me and you, we're constantly trying to find like, man, what's the next play? We're not like, oh man, this bad thing happened to me last week, or all these bad things that's happening. We're always looking to the future. Man, you are like-minded in that aspect that we're always optimistic and we're always trying to make something shake and figure out what's the next play, man. How could I make some money today that I wasn't gonna make yesterday? Or how could I elevate my hustle or just better myself in my living situation in some way? And that should be inspiration too. Like you kick game to me back and vice versa, and we be inspiring each other. That's why we be around. We gravitate toward each other.
Sure.
We trying to get to the same place, man. We got some big goals and aspirations we trying to achieve.
Yeah,
man.
goal orientated, man. And one thing I noticed too, we don't celebrate. We don't celebrate too long, man. We put out a product, it does well. What's next?
Yeah.
You know, we put out any kind of visual or album. Okay, bro, it's doing numbers, doing good. What's next? Let's keep working. Let's not too many people stop and celebrate too fast. They think they're up. Momentum, bro, the attention span is short with people, man. And to create momentum, you got to keep going. And when you got momentum, it's hard to keep. So like I tell, like a lot of times success is hard to achieve, but it's harder to keep it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even in our situation where we're at, we both bounce those off. We have conversations about this of like you said, what's next, because we're not comfortable. Even at this point in our career where people are congratulating, congratulations on your success, you're doing this, you're doing that. I don't feel like that yet because I still got so much more to do. Yeah. I feel like it's an achievement. It's a stepping stone. We got here. How do we get here and how do we do that? And that's why I say it's so valuable for when me and you talk, the ideas we have and the way we converse, it could be valuable for a lot of people because I know there's a lot of young homies that watch this. I know there's youngsters out there that are trying to figure out their situation. How could they do it? And bro, this is a lot of valuable information, man. So everybody that's tuning in, appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And we always appreciate the feedback. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we plan on doing Q&As and asking ask your questions, what you want to know from me and bro. But like I said, we hope you guys get some game from the show, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. And we both have dropped our own projects recently, and they're doing really well, man, too. Yeah. So aside from all that, like you've been doing the press runs more than me and doing all the big blogs and whatnot. So
for sure,
that's helping me. I don't have to go do those because you're helping me in that regard. And you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I'm not.
It keeps the names alive. You know what I mean? But you know what? Just to touch on that, because and I'm not oblivious to the fact of these platforms want to use us for a messy situation. Yeah. You know, they want us to come and start to. I mean, some artists are doing that, but their goal in rocking with us is on some drama shit. They want controversy. And those who know, I'm not really on that hype because I'm older and I move a little different, you know what I mean? But that's their goal, I think, with us. But I ain't no dummy. I'm a businessman. If there's an opportunity, we gotta hustle hard to get advertisement and go promote our projects. Back in the day, we had to go hand to hand, handing out flyers and put posters on the poles. You know, we didn't have the social media like we have now. Now that we do have, we're able to use our platforms. But if we got opportunity to get on a bigger platform to get eyes on us, bro, you'd be stupid not to take advantage of that shit.
No, definitely. Like I checked out your Vlad interview that's recent, and it was a good look. And I get the format of it. I get if they talk about Woody or they talk about upbringings and jail and certain controversial topics. That's what people want to hear for the most part. Me as a listener, as just a fan checking it out. I just wanted to hear you and Vlad kick like business talk.
For sure.
I want to hear like, man, what's the play? Have you got into any investing? Is there any side hustles you're looking to? Like, I want to hear the success story and the business inner workings more than I want to hear the controversy, because that's where I am in my life.
Of course, me too. Yeah,
I'm not from that's not just singling out you and Vlad. That's from all platforms that I watch, all the bigger platforms and too, because some of these people like Adam 22 and Vlad and Joe Rogan's and go up and down the board like Mason Cameron, like they're very successful people. Gilly the Kid and all them off of what they do, and they've not, the majority of them have done multiple things. Shannon Sharp is a football player that transitioned into podcasting, but there's a success story behind that. Like Shaquille O'Neal, all his businesses that he's involved in, like, I don't know, I think it's like Chipotle's, and he's got a ton of restaurants and movie theaters. He got a lot going on. But being that, if I could just hear his business thoughts and his ideas and how he got into that and how he positioned himself around the people he positioned himself around to being put in that situation. Like, I see him, he'd be on private planes just giving all his homies on the plane, here go 50,000, here go 100,000. He really take care of a lot of people in his team, and he's such a good dude that with his money he be picking up people groceries in stores, doing his own shopping.
But see, those platforms that we're talking about, they're not in it for that. They don't care. They're not trying to promote us in that aspect of what I noticed. You know what I'm saying? But I did take advantage of the opportunity to speak on that type of stuff. So even with the Vlad, I don't think the whole interviews came out yet, but I did start getting into those subjects. Of course, I anticipated those type of questions and this and that. He wants to, he wants the juicy content. I understand he's a platform that his whole business is run on not controversy, but getting views. He clickbaits the titles for a reason, whatever. Cool. I knew what I'm getting myself into. But we have to understand that's what they do. Now it's up to us as guests on how do we react to that. We could control the conversation. Some people are like, we want to keep it super gangster, I don't want to talk about nothing. Well, then don't go on the platforms. Learn how to divert the conversation to how you want to. Of course, answer the questions. You don't want a boring show. You know what I mean? But at the same time, bro, we live a real life out here. Now, for me, my privacy, my peace of mind, and my longevity is more important than me looking cool on camera for 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried about looking tough for this dude or looking like super gangster for this dude or looking like trying to be something I'm not, so I look bigger than I am for a short-term applause. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, and it does get old. Like, the more podcasts this is how I personally feel about myself doing it. Like, I don't do it because I'm like, I'm better than these people. I don't want to talk to them and have them ask me questions. Like, I've answered a lot of questions and I've done interviews and explained my life story through my music a lot. So it kind of feels awkward for me having to explain to people, like in a podcast forum, who I am. Like, I grew up here, I came up like this. Like, if I have to do that, I feel like, man, you ain't listening to my music, or you ain't been tuned into my life this whole time. What is we doing? Like, I'm not a brand new artist who's just trying to be introduced to the world. Like, I'm not the biggest artist in the world by far.
But you got to keep in mind, sometimes for a new listener, you are.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
true though.
Yeah.
So you do have to meet in the middle, and then it's pros and cons to it too. Like having to talk about dead people and whatnot, bro. Like, sometimes it just take an emotional toll. Like,
for sure.
Like, definitely on me. Like, it weigh me down sometimes, and I have a defense mechanism where I block that stuff out. So that's how I avoid the depression and constantly dwelling on my dead homies, and I try and celebrate their life. But sometimes there be those moments like, man, I just miss my dog.
No,
bro.
for sure.
You know what I mean? And when the camera rolling on you and you having that feeling, sometimes it's just like, man, this ain't gonna be good for TV, maybe.
Yeah, you know what's real? How you say that is, I sit there, I block so much shit out of my past, because I'm so forward thinking. Like you said in the beginning, how we talk about future. We don't sit there and talk about everything in the past, because I noticed there is a lot of people that dwell on the past. They reminisce. I like the Al Bundy syndrome. This is what I did. This is what I did. I don't talk on that. I'm so forward on what I've accomplished and what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't look back very often unless I'm in the studio and I'm making one of those songs. I'm in that zone to reflect. But sometimes you're right. Then you're on camera and you start asking, and you kind of dumb it down because you don't think that far back no more. And then later on, you're like, damn, you start really reflecting on your past, and shit is crazy. And you try not to. I try not to dig that deep again, because I got numb to that shit after all the people we lost and everything that happened. It's like, man, you don't want to go down that hole, because I've been there where it's like, I don't know if it's a depressing feeling, just sad, you're like fuck the world type of feeling. You ready to give it, you know what I mean? I've been there. I don't want to go back to that person. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. It's like, for me, it's like when you allow yourself to think about stuff like that, like it'll grab you. It'll really take a hold of you and do that. I had a conversation with a close friend of mine today, and he was going through something like that, like just missing people that he lost. And he was like, I can't shake it. Like, it's the anniversary that he lost someone that he loved. And it was just like, bro, you have any words for me? I can't shake this. Yeah. It's like, bro, like, it's not shakeable, bro. The only way to shake it is you got to block it out. You got to just think about tomorrow and don't think about what happened on this day them years ago. Yeah. And that's the only way through it. Things don't get easier. Nothing you can do to
bring it back.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do to bring it back.
Ain't no changing that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I see the pros and the cons to that stuff. And again, I applaud you on doing that stuff, bro, and thank you for shouting me out and shout out Vlad, man, Vlad TV, but man,
Vlad, get the man on the show, man. Adam 22, get the man on the show. Even though Adam throwing shade, saying ain't shit going on up here up north, man.
I'm open to mature conversation. For sure. I'm open to any mature conversation. I'm not an idiot. I know how to deflect. Like, you're a master at that shit. I sidestep and deflect any controversial shit. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna trip over.
Let's talk about your accolades. Let's not talking about your bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I've level-headed out through the years. I'm not as hot-headed as I once was. And granted, when Vlad told you that story too, it was like, he left a couple things out. You know,
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
But I'm not like, oh my, Vlad, you like, man.
So he pretty much broke it down that you obviously, you know, the way he put it, you had used his platform or his. I don't know if he had a platform like that at the time. I don't know what kind of level you guys are both on. I just know, you know, his name was on your album, and you did what you did on a diss track, and he felt like you threw him under the bus because he got confronted by people, and that caused some kind of issue. But he said you guys worked it out, you guys talked, you guys are cool, you know what I mean? So that was his side of the story. Because I did ask him on the thing, I'm like, man, you should sit down, bro. He's, you know, and I did kind of let him know that you are a level-headed dude. You've came a long way in growing yourself. You know what I mean? I think it'd be a good conversation for you guys to have.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, it be that way, bro. It be that way sometimes. The music industry's so wild that we've been in long enough to see the transitions from CDs to the mixtape game. Like when I was dealing with Vlad and messing with him, there was no Spotify's and streaming. Streaming wasn't a thing then.
Yeah.
Like the first
double CD tape, record play.
Like live mixtapes, and it was the mixtape era when Wayne was first dropping all his mixtapes, and everybody was flooding the mixtapes, and DJ Dramas and Gangsta Grills and DJ Vlads, and it was like DVDs was a thing, like that people were still pushing their own DVDs. Like that was a weird space in music because there was no way to really monetize. We was just doing it more for the love and trying to get our name out for them. It was a weird gray space where we was getting paid good off the CDs. Yeah. We could go press 1,000 CDs for $1,000, sell them for $10, $12 a pop, and and that's a great investment.
It's literally just like selling dope, just having a brick. 1,000 CDs is like a brick for you. Got to get rid of it. You know what I'm saying?
And then transitioning when LimeWire and all that came, and piracy and everything, we didn't know what music was going to go for a while there before streaming and all that.
How when someone would steal your music, huh?
Yeah. iTunes. CDs. And there was zero transparency too. That's another thing we didn't have. I see all that, bro, and I see like every time you do, I'm just using you for an example right now. This goes around the board too. Every time you do an interview or you do a podcast or something with somebody, you get the overwhelming consensus of the feedback is always the same. Tom's mature, good conversation. I appreciated that. And then you just got your people that's going to nitpick what's the most controversial thing, sound bite I could take from what he said and make my episode of my content. Mm-hmm. People will single these kind of things out. Like I seen a lot of different podcasters like, oh, Tom's never been to jail, and brought that up like that's a knock to your character somehow. Never rubbed me the wrong way, bro, because half of these people that are saying this in their podcasts, a lot of them's like people that are removed from the gang life, and they themselves used to be gang members, but now they found spaces in the YouTube world where they speak on gang stuff, but that they're not involved in, and they try and nitpick people's gang membership.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone needs content. And you know what? For the most part, man, I get a lot of love and respect, especially, you get treated how you get treated in real life, man. Now, when it comes to the internet, bro, we got thick skin to that. We've been getting trolled from the beginning of this shit. Disrespectful comments, this and that. So, yeah, you're gonna have people that fuck with you, and you're going to always try to have somebody to find some kind of hole or weakness, and there's something they could use against you, you know what I mean, to make them feel better. And you're right, man. One of the issues, because it was the first clip that Vlad put out, he asked, you ever done time, this and that. And I've been transparent. Like, I don't come across or try to act like I've been this super gangster ass dude that's been to jail hella times and in and out. And I'm not out here pumping my chest like, hey, homie, I did this, I did that. That's not my character. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If anything, I try to move forward on who I was as a grown person. And that doesn't take away me being who I am as a homeboy from Northern California. I still love where I come from. I'm still deeply tied in with my roots. I still, good with everything, right? Good with the people. But I don't pump a certain lifestyle because I see where it leads up for people. Now, let me break this down real quick. This is a good time because I didn't want to give this to any other platform, and it's like it wasn't worth me explaining, like you're explaining yourself. Yeah. But let's break this down, bro. Everyone has different personality traits. Everyone moves different. We all have different brackets of levels we're at in life, right? So I'm gonna go back to when I was a youngster and I was out here running around. And you know this because I could say this in front of people that actually know me and know our situation, know our surroundings. When I was a youngster, you got some dudes that are just smoked out, crash dummies, ready to risk it all. Cool. They end up going to prison. You got some homies that just can't control their emotions. I was times like that, I couldn't control my temper, but I was a hustler, bro. I was pulling up at 17 years old in a pro-painted Cadillac on gold ones. I went and spent 5 racks on my beat at the beat shop, the slap. I had JO audios, all the custom boxing, the zero gauge wires, the capacitors, all the tweets. Bro, we was riding different because we had different. I used to look up to the homies like you used to rock with, bro. The homies out here was getting money. These dudes was getting bread. So I was seeing people getting money. So I had the homies I would look up to and I would kick it with on the block. I'd have my group of homeboys, the OGs that got out. I would get game from them, but I was looking up to the homies getting money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was hustling. My mind was a little different. I was on the grind, bro. I was out here getting money. I was on some player shit. I did have a lot of homies that ended up crashing out, going to prison. Almost my whole clique ended up getting locked up, passing away or dying. Now, I'm not taking away from anybody that got, stuck doing time. I know you did some time and everything. Not disrespecting anybody. I always just moved a little bit more strategic. Now, the situations I did encounter that people do know about, sometimes I was just a blessing, just divine intervention. I can't call it, you know what I mean? And I feel like, fortunately, it worked out in my favor to get here. I don't know how. That's why I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe in energy, because things just happen where literally that fast could have just been a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? And to sit here and be this individual, I'm proud of it. That's not a how do you call it, like a ding off my stripes or whatever.
No,
you
not
want to
at
call
all.
it, to say
No.
I'm very proud that I didn't have to go down that road, and I learned from a lot of other people's mistakes too. That's a big thing. So many people were getting locked up, catching cases, catching hot ones, catching murder cases, catching this and that. And I did. Don't get me wrong. I did catch some cases. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luckily, worked out in my favor. Got a little money, got some lawyers and shit. But
that's a real gift to be able to learn from other people's mistakes. That's something that that's a talent. It's not easy to do that. You like a lot of people have to touch a hot stove to see it's hot. They don't want to hear their parents tell you don't touch that. They want to learn for themselves.
Time. You ain't got to tell me that's hot for me to find out. Pah.
That part.
You know
and it's not. It's I know you personally. I've been around you for a substantial amount of years. I know it. That's why I say it bothered me when I see people say that, because they're saying it in a way like you wasn't out here and they never took no risks.
Yeah.
Like you took life and death penitentiary chances. I done seen you through life do this with my own eyes and been around you in different areas and stages of life. So trying to summarize who you are, I know we don't need to prove ourselves. I know you don't need to prove yourself or nothing in that regard. Yeah. But you learn from other people's mistakes. You move strategically like a chess player. You always didn't have to do that. And like you said, no disrespect to people that did do time, myself included, but that's not no cool shit, bro. Yeah. Sometimes it's unfortunate circumstances and unavoidable circumstances. It's countless people in the penitentiaries scattered out throughout the whole world that's in there because of circumstances, situations, unforeseeable stuff. Some people just crashed out. Some people really in there rocking a hard spot, had a real, some people just had a bad day and life. You got one time, first slip up.
That's a good. All right, let me tell you, you've been in that lifestyle, right? And and for me, saying I haven't done no prison time, but it's been in my circle, in my realm, pretty much my whole life. It's been around me, and I know this for a fact. And like I said, I'm not disrespecting anybody, but there's a lot of people that get locked up for some dumb fucking shit.
Oh, definitely.
Just because you've been to prison gives you well, you went to prison for what? Oh, yeah, you know. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of. Don't get me wrong, but there's not a lot of bragging rights on some of the shit that I know with certain people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you know, I'm not, like I said, that's not taken away from anything, but doesn't necessarily reflect. I'm not going to look at that man because he did that as, oh, you did that, so you're just automatically this type of dude. Because let me tell you this, bro, when you get back out, now I'm going to name some, just reflect on some homies that I know that came out, including yourself, that did time and came out and did a lot with themselves. Yeah. They came out and got their shit together, built a business, got some money, whether they got a job. I know homies that did a lot of time, came out and got in a union. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfuckers that came out and they started their business. People, that's the hardest thing to do, if anything, is really be successful. And I know so many people that's been in and out the pen, and they come out and they wear that as their badge of honor. And this is, hey, I've done this, I've done that. Cool. They're only gonna look at you. You're only gonna get cool points for so long before those youngsters that look up to you are gonna grow up and they're gonna start getting money, and then, or unless they follow your footsteps, then they're never coming home. You know what I'm saying? Then they stuck in that surroundings. If that's the lifestyle you want to choose and that's what you want to do, I'm not gonna hate on you youngsters. I'm not gonna hate on these youngsters. Do what you got to do. So my thing, like you said, is you live and you learn from other people's mistakes. People can learn from me too. You don't have to go through that. I was the type of individual when some homies were gonna go do some crash out shit, and I was never one of these, you jump, I jump. Nah, bro, that's some stupid. But you tripping? You gonna go do what? Well, you hot boy right now, bro. You better think about that, bro. Like you like slipping. I'm like that. I'm very vocal with people still to this day. You know what I'm saying? I'm very blunt. I was like that with my homies back then, bro. You gonna go do some dumb shit? You guys are slipping. You should do that shit right. You know what I'm saying? I was a little bit more strategic the way things would transpire, and I remember certain conversations I had with homies where I knew they were gonna crash out and end up where they ended up. Almost every time I called, this dude's gonna end up locked up in a pen. It always fucking happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people in the penitentiary, specifically the youngsters, a lot of them is really, they're not all. Everyone's different. Everyone's scenario is different, but there's a lot of people that I've seen in the penitentiary system that was just young boys trying to impress some other people that was the hotheads on the block, and they really wasn't like that, bro. They was good kids, and they was smart.
I know people like that around me. Yeah.
Dumb decisions trying to impress some idiots around them, and it really changed the whole trajectory of their life. And that, for me, that's sad, bro. Like the reason, one of the main reasons I wanted to touch on this topic in this conversation is because I want, if there is any youngsters out here that watch us and tune into our message, I want them to know, like, learn the importance of learning from other people's mistakes and how much that could put you on a positive trajectory on your life. Like no one should have to go to prison and use the bathroom in front of another man and shower with men or do strip searches for police and all the stuff you get subjected to and have all the stuff that comes with prison life. No one should have to do that to learn that, hey, I shouldn't have to go there to learn I don't want to be there. I shouldn't be more concerned with trying to impress people around me in my circle than and be oblivious to the fact of what could lead up to me trying to impress those people if I make stupid decisions. Like, be your own person, be an individual, think for yourself. Don't let someone else think for you, and don't let, you know how many other people have, like, oh, I don't like this guy, so, but I don't want to do nothing to him and go to jail, so I'm finna put a battery in little brother in them back and have him go do something. Man, there's tons of that shit out there, man.
Well, you know, I got someone asked a question too, and I want to do some Q&A. Someone asked me, and I said some of these questions are fucking stupid, but one was stupid, but it's actually a good one to answer. Some dude asked me, he goes, and I'll try to find the question to put it up. He goes, at this age, what kind of work do you put in? So, but I like that question because this is something that I believe, and it's not even just me believe, it's actual result of the work I put in now is way more valuable than the work that dude thinks he got to do. Because now I give opportunities to homeboys. I give the lessons I've learned and the accolades I've earned, people could learn from. Like the stuff we're doing, bro, that's no one was teaching this shit back then, bro. No one was teaching us the stuff that we're doing now, bro. No one was teaching us about business or showing us how to get money or how to think and how to move. Because like I said, they were looking up to the person that was like, hey, homie, you got to go do this. You got to go do that. And they were looking up to that dude. So obviously they probably ended up going to prison. Now they could look at a homie like, you know what, bro, this dude might have dodged that, but still a solid dude, still does right by his people, still with his people, and he didn't have to go through that. So if anything, that's the work I put in, bro. I show that there's more value in being an individual that's valuable for the people. Because like I said, you crash out, bro, you know, you're still going to be valuable, but another way. I'm not going to throw, you know, I'm not going to touch on that subject like that. But it's either going to go one way or another. You know what I mean? I mingle with a lot of solid people. And outside of my culture, bro, I mingle with a lot of successful people. I'm confident and proud of the type of person I've become. And because of those, it's proven, bro. Like I'll walk in a room with a whole different demographic of people, bro, and they will respect and shake my hand, and I could join these conversations, and I'm trying to do business with certain people that are way out of my realm, but I'm still at these tables, still in these rooms now. Most homeboys wouldn't be able to step foot in these rooms without being looked upon as like, what is he doing here? And I understand that. Yeah. So we're trying to break down doors to get into business where we can start doing that stuff, that type of stuff. And if no one breaks and kicks down these doors and gets there, how are we going to learn from it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard to be around some people because I got some friends that's rich as hell, and I be around them, and I be around them with my friends that's really from the trenches, and I could just see the look. I could read rooms. I could see. I know what my homies be thinking without saying a word. And sometimes I pull up with my people and I'll be like, damn, like I genuinely be happy for people to successful, even if their success isn't self-built and it's just passed on through their family or whatever. I don't be like, what can I get from this dude? But I know a lot of people like that when they meet somebody with money or success, they ain't coming. They ain't like approaching it.
They're like male groupies with money. Yeah.
Well, they ain't coming at it from an approach like, if I could pick his brain business-wise or get into doing business with this person, we could both make a lot of money together and we could have something successful going together. Sure. That's the way I approach things with people that is business-minded or successful in life. But I have a lot of homies that look at it like, man, what can I get from this dude? What can I shake from him?
That's most people thinking that.
Yeah.
Way. But see, this is going back to the whole point of being a person of value, bro. Like, why would this person want to even talk to me? What have you done to even be valuable enough for this person to even give you game? What is it gonna? No man, nobody's gonna give you nothing in this world, bro. We all know that. But if you're sitting there waiting for something to fall in your lap, you're gonna be broke your whole life, bro. You know what I'm saying? You have to be valuable to either somebody or to a consumer. You have to. That's the only way. Two ways you're gonna be successful, bro. You're either providing a product, a service, or you're working for somebody. There's how else are you gonna make money in this world?
Yeah, and people and I've had homies that looked at me throughout the years and been like, yo, like, oh, you doing so good. why can't you just throw me some money? Like, yeah, I guess could I do it? Would it hurt me? No, it ain't gonna hurt me. Could I do it? Yeah, I could do it. Would I do it? No, absolutely not. And and from there, they take a stance on it. Like, I mean, you got all this, you spending it on, you'll buy a pair of shoes for $2,000 or something, but you can't throw me 600. You know, I'm messed up on the bills. But from the way I look, what am I, your daddy? Number one, number two. If I know you on heroin, am I finna enable it? Am I finna go grab something for you and just here you go? Like, no, it's the same as being on drugs. You're not figuring that out for yourself. And me just giving you some money, that don't help your scenario.
Take this scenario. Your little homie tell you, look, bro, I got this product I really believe in, man. I did this design. I did the market research on it. I know this how much money I can make on the ROI, this and that. He does his homework and presents that. All I need, I need $2,000. You're going to shoot him that money.
You're talking my language.
Bro, that's a different story. That person did his homework and knows he believes in something, not just a quick idea. Hey, I got something I can flip real quick. Yes. That's what I'm saying. You become a person of value. People don't work on themselves so much. So when the opportunity presents itself, they'll be in a position to make some shit happen.
And that's a big thing about business too, right? It's not like when I was young, I watched Scarface movies. I'm thinking, if I just elevate an 8 ball to an ounce and then I'm copping kilos, I'll be rich with the mansion and the white bitch dancing and all this shit in no time, right? Yeah. You want that quick. You want to get rich fast. Yeah. You want to do it overnight. That's how majority of people I've seen in my generation, the people I grew up with, they crashed out trying to do that. Hard work, one step at a time, every dollar counts. Put in the work. Don't try and get rich overnight. Just try and make some progress towards your goals and make a little money at a time and get a system going for yourself. That's the recipe to success I've seen from everybody that's self-made. That I don't know nobody that just overnight and 1 year wonder, 6 months, they're just, I'm balling out of control.
And if they do get it that fast, they lose it just as fast.
Definitely. I don't have
subject to the rule. Yeah.
Cartel aspirations of kingpins and like we don't live in Mexico, bro. How they live down there is different than up here.
Of course. I did get a question that too. Some dude asked. I'm gonna see if I can find his question, and it was along the lines of why don't you give like people that need if I can find people that need an like pretty much put people on. I'll try to find this question and post it, but it was like people that don't have they think, okay, you're in a position, I'm in a position to put anybody on. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? I could post this, and I've done. We work with people like this. We work with people. How many? And let me rewind before I confuse people. Let's go back to like when Wood put us on his albums, right?
Yeah.
There was 20 other names on those Northern Exposures. Why are we the ones still ticking and being successful? You know what I'm saying? You could put 20 names on your next album. I'm sure you've done features and put a lot of people on your album that didn't follow up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Same with me. I go back in my albums. I got numerous features. I put almost every little homie I put on every little homie that want to rap from my hood. You know what I mean? I opened the door for them, the same as the opportunity I got. And then you know what ended up happening for some people? I ended up being the bad guy because I didn't do more. So you can't do things for people, bro. You have to do things for yourself. You can't expect someone can't come in and be like, "What could you do for me?" We're gonna go back kind of that conversation. What could you do for me, and how can you help that person out? You don't have the power like that. I don't have the power like that. We have the opportunity. We're giving them the game right now. That's what we could do for you. Now they could go back and do the work. They could create something that people are interested in, and then maybe we could help fuel that fire when they get to that point. But if there's nothing going on there's nothing. If you can't do nothing for yourself, I can't do nothing for you, bro.
Exactly, and that rubs me the wrong way. A lot of times I get a lot of fan comments, and I do check fan comments from time to time. I'm not going through them all, and I don't see them all, obviously. But sometimes it'd be like, yo, like me and you will drop a thing like, who would you like to see us do a song with? And then people will bring up a name that I did of a person I did a song with, and you ain't seen no music with me with this person for years. And this I'm not singling nobody. That's a lot of people that fit in this category, right? But it's like I get the fans being like, I like the song you did with that person back then. But sometimes I just need fans to kind of understand without me having to say it. Like, I probably don't work with 99.9% of the 999% of the people I don't work with no more over the feeling of I was feeling like I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. So I had to back off. Yeah. And I'm not going to revisit that. Yeah. I can't fix that. I did what I could do for that situation. I tried to show them what I learned off the music industry or what I learned on business and help them implement that into their own lives. Like, it's a talent being able to kick game with somebody, see, hey, they're good at X, Y, Z, this, that. How could what are they doing that I could implement in my life and what I have going on and make my machine work easier? What can I soak? What game can I soak up and implement into what I do? Mm-hmm. And that's a real talent. Some people just don't have that. Yeah. And being able being a good business mind, sometimes you have to recognize through a friendship that, hey, I'm friends with you so much and I want you to succeed so much that it's easy for me to overextend myself and overexert myself in our friendship and take away from my own family and my own success, trying to help you so much that I'm not helping myself when I know my potential. My potential is sky's the limit. I could go as far as I want to go if I apply myself. But trying to apply myself to somebody that I really just genuinely want to see you go, but you don't take instructions well. You don't follow lead. You don't soak game right. I have to cut ties sometimes.
Bro, that right there is the realest shit too, because people only see it from their perspective. People are self-centered. Every human is self-centered, right?
Definitely.
But somebody will want to watch you drown to help you bring up. And I told you this. We talked about this. There's certain people, music, business, anything, that you think you're helping them, and you might be helping them, but you're also lowering yourself down. Because you're helping a drowning person. You can't help a drowning person, bro. And like I said, if they're not, and every situation is different. Like you don't want to sound like an asshole. I can't do nothing for you. Every case by case is different. There's some people that, like I said, that, hey, this person has something and it fuels. But that person has to fuel you. Like, you're right. If you come around and I see you're fueling me and you're helping me, I can help you. It can't be just I help you, but I'm drowning myself. Because I'm the same thing. I'm the same boat with people. Like, man, I'm trying to still level up. I got a lot of work to do. I got to get in here and make this happen. I'm focused on trying to level up and keep this going. I'm not focused on just helping you and yours. You know what I'm saying? But people are so self-centered. They just want, what can I get from you? And it's going back to the original conversation of, so people, how can I get something off this guy? You know what I'm saying? People are too absorbed with their own life instead of figuring out, how can I be a person of fucking value? And it's all going to go back and do the fucking work. If you want to be a rapper, a businessman, entrepreneur, whatever, go do the homework, bro. YouTube University, you can learn everything you want to do. Go do the skill. If you want to be a basketball player, you got to go shoot hoops every day. You got to go practice every fucking day, and then your work will eventually get recognized. You can't just go tell somebody, hey, I want to be a basketball player, put me on your team. Go guys, the NBA, go holler at the NBA like that, see what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I be in different circles. I don't just be in music circles and whatnot. I be around a lot of actors. Like, I have actor friends like Mike Wayans and fucking Steve Urkel and Deshawn Jackson from the wide receiver. Like, I've been around a lot of people that are just successful in different walks of life. And I always came in those circles and just was, man, I go to kids' birthday parties and kick it. We smoke blunts together, and I knew there's not a lane for me with the Philadelphia Eagles when Deshawn was signed to the Eagles. And I know, like, I'm not a football player. Yeah. This is my boy. He messed with it. We in mutual circle. He messed with a lot of the same people. I don't want nothing from him. I ain't trying to get nothing from him. When Deshawn Jackson first got to the NFL, he was on a rookie contract so low. Like, I was picking up the tab for food sometimes and whatnot. I wasn't like, oh, when he get his check though. Like, nah, bro.
Ulterior motive ass motherfucker.
Yeah. And I guess that's a blessing for me because I have a lot of relationships and a lot of love from people in different walks of life that people would never expect. I don't tout them. I'm not on social media.
Well, that's why they fuck with you, because you're not in there because you need something. You're not in there trying to leech off someone. They fuck with you because they fuck with you. Yeah. If you're in a room with someone like that, bro, and they sense that you're just there for a reason, bro, ain't nobody that valuable gonna fuck with you, bro.
They have a saying, you see the same people going up, coming down in life, right? Crazy thing. When me and Game did a song when he was first getting to Dr. Dre and all them, I was Ghazi. You ever been to Sean T studio out there?
That's where I met Ghazi before, right at the first studio. Yeah,
he was engineering.
Ghazi had the studio. Sean T had a little room
off Hagenberger. They had the little.
I think it was in Frisco.
Hayward.
I went to the front of Frisco.
They moved to a different one.
Gotcha.
So it was in an apartment complex, and they just had a studio. And I came in on the ass end of a session. to where I was gonna record after when I came in. Mess was in there recording, right? And I'm just using this as an example too. But Ghazi Engineering and Mess was in the booth, and when I walked in the studio, it was like Mess did something. He was like, "Start me over," but he was just doing like, "Run that shit back, bitch ass! You fucking bitch! I'll fucking slap you if you don't keep fucking it up."
That was Mess?
Yeah, Mess was like tweaking on Ghazi, like being disrespectful about his engineering. And I've seen a lot of people do that through the years. People do that at shows, artists. Like, my mic's getting feedback. What's wrong with you? You bitch ass DJ. It was kind of that vibe that he was throwing over there. You know what I mean? And I was just like, man, I was bothered by it. But I'm like, this ain't none of my business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mess finished his verse. He leave the studio. My session started with, and Game come. We knock out our song and whatnot. But I made a real point in that session, like, to be as respectful as I could to guys. How you doing? Like, if I'm gonna get some food, you want something to eat? Like, you know, like, just show respect to people. Because in that moment, in that space and time, guys, he was just an engineer. There was no forward thing. It's just because I'm a good person and I don't like being disrespectful to people, and I'm just raised with respect, and I think people should be treated. You treat people as you want to be treated, unless they really someone you don't like, someone that you ain't messing with. So like it always tripped. Now Ghazi became who he is. He ain't shining shoes no more, Ghazi. Right?
I ain't shining shoes no more.
But I don't think it's a coincidence that Mess ain't got no prominent place at Empire either. And not to throw Ghazi business out, but he don't know nothing to Mess. And I'm sure Ghazi, as anybody successful, has a little bit of that in him. When I was just normal guy engineering, rapping, making beats, the people that was trying to be disrespectful or cut me down or treat me a certain way, like, I don't know them nothing. I'm gonna be successful with everybody that did me right though all this time.
And Mess was such a legend. Obviously it's not the subject we're talking about. He was such a legend because I was a big fan of Messy Marv shit when he was making slaps too. And I could see that, you know, I don't know the individual like that. I work with him, but you don't know when you're on top of the world, you think it's like that forever. And you're right, bro. You don't treat, and I live by that, but I treat everybody with respect until they ask otherwise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cold game, man. I was gonna say something too and touch on that, and I hella just forgot the damn point I was gonna make on that.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to throw Mess under the bus. I was trying to use it as an example though. Like treat people good. You never know who gonna be wearing life some years down the road, bro. Like, cause I know I be saying all the time, bro, if I ever won a $1 billion lottery ticket or something crazy, I ain't telling nobody. I ain't telling nobody. First thing I'm doing, if let me win a $1 billion lottery ticket or something. All I'm doing, I'm calling everybody on my phone and asking to borrow money. That's all I'm gonna do. One by one. Hey, I'm messed up. I just blew a lot on the crap table, bro. I'm broke.
I ain't got it. Well, you fucked up, man. You finna be rich with me.
Exactly. I ain't gonna, man.
I was gonna touch on that though too. What you just said about Mess and Ghazi, because I get this question religiously. How come you don't work with so-and-so no more? Do a song with this person. Sometimes you don't know the backstory of people. This shit's deeper than musical people. And it might be something that simple where you might have felt disrespected or you felt like somebody, because I was a young, I would say wannabe rapper one time where I was just trying to rap, didn't really have no motion in it and trying to do my things. And I would get big league by certain artists, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, I obviously haven't blew up like, you know, there's people that surpassed us a million times, but there's a lot of people I surpassed in this shit and still relevant to this day. And some of these rappers that we were trying to work with back in the day, they can't get no motion. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that happen with me personally, and I would never go back and work with certain people because of that. Like, I remember how you treated me, man. Now all of a sudden you see I got a lot of love and a lot of respect in this shit. It ain't good. I don't want to go back to that time, man.
And it's just like I ain't got no. It's a lot of people I don't have no interaction with in my life to this day. Through some people I worked with, some people just through friendships, even family. Yeah. And I'll never revisit those relationships, and it's not no hard feelings. I don't want to see them and want to have beef. I don't want to back and forth. I don't want to discuss it, revisit it. All that is regression to me. I'm somebody focused on progressing at all times.
All times.
And any input, thought given to stuff like that, that's going backwards. For what?
Yeah.
I don't want to go backwards. We for whatever we had a point in our life where we used to rock with each other. For whatever reason, that stopped, and is what it is. I'm cool with turning to a different chapter of my life and turning the pages. I don't need to keep reading in front of my book all day. I'm trying to keep writing the next page at all times.
That goes back to a lot of the controversy that I get, because I do read some of the comments, man. I go in and look at the feedback that some of my videos are getting, and when I do, I always appreciate the love, and I don't take it for granted. But when I do see the negative, it don't bug me because I got very thick skin, but I do see, like, that's what they'll try to use against, and it's going back to, like, hey, the homie ain't did no time, or he ain't done this, he ain't no real one, he ain't this, because people always say the OG tone, the OG, and when I say when they talk about the OG, the way I vision it is just, I've been in this game a long time. I'm not talking about the OG out the pinta and they homie this and that, you know, I've done this and you didn't. I don't portray that character whatsoever. I just been in this game a long time, fortunately still to be here, but the way I see people try to nitpick that thing, this is something that I think is a fault in, and I won't say just people in my culture, just a street individual. They don't know how to wear different hats, bro. They don't know how to wear. They just want to be street dudes the whole time and act like that's how they got to be. They feel like they paint this image of what a gangster is, and they just got to be that dude to the T, bro. Go back to what real gangsters was doing when the mob started, bro. These motherfuckers was building. They built Las Vegas. They had politicians and police departments on payroll, bro. They were taking all the contracts from the big. I'm just saying they had a whole different way of living, but that to me was always on some real boss shit. Now when you wear different hats, bro, you could be a street dude, right? You could be a nice, respectful dude, like you said. I'm very respectful and got manners. Please, thank you. You know, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, to people that deserve it. But all of a sudden, if I feel played and I feel like you suck, I'll let it be known, right? Yeah. But also, I'm a dad. I'm a family man. I'm a business owner. I'm a homeboy. You know what I mean? People trip out like when I work in the cannabis gardens. I work in the industry. I actually do my own plumbing. I've built my drip systems. I've done HVAC. I learned how to garden and really run a grow. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to mix my albums and built studios and engineer and record. I learned how to run a record label. I learned how to run, whatever business I'm getting into. I know how to wear different hats. When you're just a one-dimension dude, you're not going to get far in life. If all you want to do is be a gangster, and that's all you want to do, that's cool, I'll respect it, but you're not going to get far other than the two places you're going to end up, and that's the realest shit. It's a cliche answer, but you got to be a master of a lot of trades these days in this way of living, bro.
I got this question when I ask fans what questions they want to ask, and it was the one that stood out. Who's the most influential artist to you growing up that wasn't someone you knew or met? Before
growing up or now, like to this day, because
like sometimes you meet them later on, but I'm saying,
yeah, and it all depends.
Before you were in music, who was the most influential artist, or inspirational person in entertainment?
I would say growing up, I wasn't looking to get inspired. I just wanted to hear slaps. My mind wasn't like but now take that back. I was like Messy Marv. Yeah, I slapped Messy Marv shit like crazy. He was like, when I would listen to his music, he was getting money. He was, I threw candy paint on all my jet skis. I'm like, I'm picturing riding in candy painted jet skis and Escalades and stuff that he was doing. So that type was motivating me to do other type of things and those type of artists. Like I've always listened to hustle music, you know what I'm saying? I definitely grew up on gangbang music. I wanted to do slide and skits. That was, especially in my early days, bro, listening to fucking 11-5, Killer Ho and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those songs was on that shit, but as I got older and my mentality was more on some hustle shit, bro, was strictly people that were getting money. And then I got a little older and my music shifted, changed. And honestly, bro, I don't listen to a lot of rap, bro. I don't listen to a lot of rap because I feel like a lot of it's so. Well,
how about in an influential as far as what artists you think you soaked the most game from that you could apply to your own life going forward?
That I don't know.
By being a fan of their music. What listening to their music taught you the most?
You saying that I don't know? Because I know a lot of artists.
That you could know later but didn't know growing up, for a musician.
That's a hard one, bro.
Because obviously Wood's the no-brainer. We know Wood,
sure.
We could always go back to him. But I'm saying outside of Wood, because I know for myself, like E40, bro.
I was going to say like a 40. I would say Burner, bro. You know why? Because I was getting into the cannabis industry, right? Mm-hmm. And before I knew, bro, he just the you know, obviously the accolades were showing, the cookies and all the brands and people back then. Cookie, when I was starting to grow, was OG, but you know, the cookies was a big strand. People were growing on the streets, the blue cookies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, to seeing what it was built. So that was somebody that I would say, like, damn, bro's taking the business and getting this, you know, dispensaries and watching the brand blow up. So from the outside looking in, obviously I ended up working with bro and being cool with homie, but that was somebody that was inspiring to watch that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely. Hats off to Burn. His hustle's tremendous. I see exactly what you're saying in that. Like, and shout out Burn. For me, it was E40, bro.
Yeah.
E40. And it go back to the earlier conversation, like, you know, I've been an E40 fan since the original Click tape. I remember the original E40 and the Click and all of his earlier music and before the reissues and the color changed and they pulled the samples off. He used to have like samples of old movies embedded in the music that when he had to pull off for the big record labels and whatnot. But I had everything. I used to just watch E40 and them. And one time in Pittsburgh, like, I think they came to like Pittsburgh High School and did a show. And like at the high school. And I just happened to be like at Safeway or one of the stores, Rayleigh's or something. They was walking out the store, all these big old, they was humongous. I was little. So they like had big old brown bags with 40 ounces and shit. I was like, oh shit, like these dudes is lit. But just seeing that from the outside, just passing, I was always just a huge fan of them.
Yeah.
And 40 music, he always would drop little gems of game in there for me, and I would dissect it and be like, man, he talking some knowledge, bro. Like, don't buy the house before, don't buy the cars, but the jewelry for the house, and he was trying to don't use the dope game as a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. Don't just make it your full-time occupation. Like, he had so many jewels in the music for me, and I also was a fan enough to know, like, yo, this dude really a street dude. He really. Out there, he in the hillside, like he beefing with Mac Dre. Him and Mac Dre dissing each other on all the early albums. They in the whole every album's got diss records going back and forth and whatnot, and they really like that. But also 40, I ain't never heard about 40 going to jail. I heard about him going to college, like Grambling, HBCU, doing.
Like he got educated, he got a degree or some shit.
Yeah. Like he just, and then the transition even today. I use him for inspiration today. The transition into so many different avenues of business, and he got his food or his alcohols in like Walmart's, Costco's, and he's a staple with the Warriors.
A straight definition of an entrepreneur. So what's something that you thought was like gonna be over for you, but ended up being one of the biggest blessings? Anything like that happen for you or not?
That's something that happens to me. Frequently.
Yeah.
I tie myself into business situations with labels or people or artists that I bring to my label, and I want them to, I see potential in them and think they're gonna go far, and then it don't go the way I want to. And in the moment when I realize it, it feels like, man, what a waste of time. This is why I don't deal with people, or this is why I don't want to be in these scenarios, and I want to go into a shell and back off all of it. And then 6 months later, a year later, different things happen in life, or I learn something from that scenario, and the gift of hindsight lets me look at it in a different context and light, and I'll be like, I get why that happened now. You see what I'm saying? Like, I had to separate, I had to learn that lesson to know how to deal with this scenario. Sometimes it's just a lesson that you don't need what it's taught you till later in a different scenario, and then you're like, I learned that from there. Now I know how to navigate this and get through this easier. So that's something that happens with me frequently.
I've had it happen with people. I think we spoke about that before too. That's why I would love to have a record label with artists and all that stuff, but that's one main reasons why I don't have artists, man, because rappers to me are I won't say they're very needy. People want the all attention. I need to be on. They want everything, and the way the game has transpired now is hard. You know, it's hard for the artist to pop. So for me to throw a lot of energy and time, my time is valuable. I'm very busy. So if it would be time for me to throw money to an artist and time and everything, and it doesn't like pay off the way it's supposed to, it's a big waste of my time. It's gonna devalue what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? So my lesson with that would be with artists I've had tried to put on and put time into. It didn't go their way. I tried. I lost money, time, and they end up having a resentment towards me, like I didn't do enough for them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why the blame comes back on me. Well, like, bro, like, you can't force feed or make somebody love you. I don't care how much money you put behind somebody. I know artists that spend a lot of money on themselves, or even artists that didn't put money, they just put a lot out, bro, in the studio, a lot, always working, and just can't catch a break. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. I don't, I sympathize because people want this so bad. You know what I'm saying? But it's a hard game to be in, bro. To be a rap artist these days, it could be easy to, even if you catch a buzz. And I showed someone some numbers, right? If you catch 1 million views on a video and you don't got a lot of subscribers, they're not consistent, you don't make a lot of money on that $1 million. No. I mean, that million views. What's 1 million views bring in? $3,000?
Depending on
normal. Say a normal artist right now.
Under 100,000 subs. And not too much, under 10, 20 videos on YouTube, probably make you $2,500.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you get a rapper right now that doesn't have much, just wants to get a buzz, gets 1 million views. They think they're on top of the world. Cool.
Oh, definitely.
Good platform. 1 million people know who you are, right? The money's not going to be made off that unless you know how to capitalize on that and produce. But to keep producing the hit that's doing over 1 million constantly, very hard. Yeah. It's like making the NFL. It's like going to the NBA, getting drafted to be. Now you're a real professional rapper. Now you really got a fan base and you got a huge buzz behind you. That's a hard thing to do, and it's hard to tell people that without looking like a hater. So that's why I can't invest time into too many artists, because the time and energy it would take to get an artist to do it, to make it worth your time, because we're businessmen. Yeah. We got, on top of this, we got families. We got other shit to do. I can't be in the studio trying to make an artist blow.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I've had all of my fallouts with like artists specifically too. It ain't been because I didn't like, I see potential, I wouldn't even be open to having a conversation. But sometimes it don't work out because we had an argument or it was a fallout or something. Sometimes you don't realize till later in conversation and dealing with artists, because I had to self-teach myself even how to interact with artists to be trying to help them with their careers. But it's real Shark Tanky vibes. It's like sometimes they just over evaluate what their worth is in music, and it's a disagreement on business. Like, oh, you as an artist, you're a business, and you drop 2 songs, and yeah, you got a little bit of motion with them, but you got that 1 million views on YouTube. To me, it's worth $2,500 on your channel, and the way you're doing it to you, that's worth fucking $150,000. Like, we're not even remotely near making a deal. Let's just go our separate ways. And when in those scenarios, I don't be like, oh, he gonna fall on his fucking face. I be like, man, prove me wrong. Yeah. Prove me wrong.
You don't want to see him fail. You just understand the reality of it.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer of the people that succeed, they're going to succeed with or without me. Yeah. I ain't the deciding factor. All I could do is give a little attention.
Just like you're going to succeed with somebody with or without them.
You know what I mean? I'm not the reason why you're going to make it enough fail, and I'm not going to take all the credit. Like, he'd be nowhere without me if I didn't do that song with him early on. Like, I'm not that dude, bro. Yeah.
No, it's a tough one, man. And like I said, I try not to I can't even think of the word, I'm getting tired with, not discredit, not stray somebody away or disencourage somebody from trying to become an artist, because if that's your passion, you want to do it. I strongly agree. And like I said, who am I to even tell somebody? Because sometimes they're like, well, you ain't blown up all this way. Okay, cool, but I built, and that's something I wanted to say right there, brother. You know how many people I heard that would be like, oh, Tony, this dude Gas Tone. I'll admit, I ain't the best rapper, bro. I ain't, and how much of a rapper really am I a rapper? When do I come in the studio and just always rap? I don't really rap until it's time to do a song. I don't ever bust freestyles or ever just run around rapping.
Don't let him lie. I got Tone been freestyling.
I'm telling you, like you really treat rap as an art. You're a real artist. I'll give that to you. Like, I work with you. You're a real artist, and you. Anybody knows I'm only an artist when it's time to get in the studio and work on music. You know what I'm saying? So there'll be people who'll be like, oh, these homies will gas Tone, this and that. There's many artists that come in here and gas me, but guess what? I'm a better businessman. I know how to make this song into a product and market it and get it out to a consumer where people are paying attention, where it paid me and supported my family for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It took me a long time to get there, but I learned how to make money off music because I invest money into it. I've always have. I put my money into these products. I'm very cautious on my beat selection, and I know my market. I know my demographic, bro. I know how to put together a song, and this is, you know, what I believe in, that has worked for me, and it does decent for me. You know what I'm saying? I never took it to the next level up here, but it's done decent enough where my catalog's done well, and I'm able to support my family and my other businesses I'm blessed to have. You know what I'm saying?
I hate when you be saying that shit because you're a great rapper, bro. You're a great rapper. I know you. You my brother, so I know your business mind is always so at work. You don't put yourself in a rap space a lot to do a lot of rap, right?
Gotcha, yeah.
But at what you do, man, you one of the GOATs, bro.
I
like, you need to pat
you.
yourself on the back, bro. Like, rap to me it's all rap music. It's all rap music, but there's so many different positions and lanes in rap. Like, everyone will say, oh, Kendrick and Lil Wayne and them. Like, they do what they do. But that I don't think that they're better than Andre 3000 and Nelly or people. Like, success is success, and there's different kinds of rap.
For
Nelly's a hit maker. He throws hits up consistently throughout the years, proven. He knows the formula to make hit records. And it's some people with that gift, and they make a party kind of vibe, or they know a certain kind of vibe that they mastered and they got that down. And then you got the Lil Waynes that they just got so many metaphors and bars crammed into one rap. It's like, damn, bro, his brain think crazy. But that don't make, it's always pitting one against the other. So, this is all greats, boy. What you mean? This is, if there was a Hall of Fame of this shit, boy, what you mean? Jersey's going on the wall, dog. Retire the number.
And mind you, brother, I appreciate that. And I'm not discrediting, like, obviously I got confidence in what I do, and I'm not saying that I'm just saying there's people that out there will think talent is all it takes is strictly talent. There's more than just talent, and I do believe I had a good story, and I do got there's times I'll be like, damn, bro, I went in on that one, and there's times where I did songs with your ass and be like, damn, I sound like shit. I got to step my game up. But I think that me being critical on my shit is what keeps me somewhat successful to this day, is because I know I got to one up myself, and it is harder for me to be happy with the product because I'm so that's a good feeling of being paranoid of, like, this could be the album that's over. You know what I'm saying? And even if I did, I would say this. Even if I did, I would still be like, well, I had a good run at it, but I'm not done with it because I still got something. I've still got something to prove with the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? With the music, at least.
We make organic music, and it'd be like, yo, man, this beat's hard, man. Let's get on this thing. And we just make music, bro.
Yeah.
When me and you do our last couple albums, we got one on the way and we got one we put out, right? Me and Tone do an album, and we just do whatever feels right. We like some beats, we get on them, knock the songs out, compile a bunch of songs. But at the end of the albums, excuse me, you come like, hey, we need some hits. And you'll find the beat, you'll be like, hey, this going this way. Like, and when you predict what the hits is, you ain't wrong ever, bruh. Yeah. It's not coincidental that you're like, hey, this, and this going through the roof. And you position those at the front of the album and the track list. And that's one of the hardest things in music for me. I do music sometime on my own, and I'll be like, man, this that one. That boy. As soon as it drop, down in flames, dog.
I've done that too, though, with ones I thought were going to go up. But they end up being my personal favorites, but they're not the ones that go up the most. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes it could be hit and miss, but I do. And it's going back to me understanding my marketing demographic. And this is one of my cheat recipes and my keys to why we're still able to do numbers and do pretty good, is I'm attacking my demographic. I'm not trying to sound like everyone else. The rap game is a young man's game. People are going on what the youngsters are listening to, what's trending. I don't care about that. I know there's a whole gap of listeners that don't listen to the new shit that's trending, that want to hear some old school vibe music, some shit they grew up on. There's thousands of listeners that love that sound, bro, that grew up on our shit.
No, definitely.
So I definitely I keep those people in mind. And if people that don't that are young and they like the music we do, and it happens to catch their attention, that's a plus.
And beyond the music, you got the same talent and being a visionary when it comes to videos and how you want to execute them and whatnot too. Like,
yeah,
man, we throwing some home runs out, bro. You just dropped 2 videos back to back, and shot up 500,000 views within a couple weeks on YouTube.
But you see the pressure I put on myself, and us.
Yeah,
That's
for
good.
sure.
If I would have came in here and said, bro, we're gonna knock this shit out, and I would have walked in, hit that mic, and just thought I gassed whatever, go throw some shit together, and thought it's just gonna go up because of what I've done in the past. Like I said, yesterday's home runs don't win today's games. I'm fully aware of that. So it could be, and you're not a subject to this rule. I'm not a subject to this rule. Nobody is. It could be a whole new generation of kids coming up that are no longer giving a fuck about any of us, what we're doing. Yeah. And all of a sudden we start seeing our numbers decline. And it's kind of sad, like, just to see this. Like I seen, rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. You know, he just passed away. Yeah. And they start playing a bunch of his old videos, and all of a sudden his catalog skyrocketed. I seen an interview he did where he started noticing his decline in the sales. Everything went up. He had a couple big hits, right?
Big ones.
His career was on top, and all of a sudden he started saying he got paid for New Year's Eve show. He got $120,000 to show up, so he thought that was his standard. After that was his highest paid show ever, not realizing it was because of New Year's Eve. It's a special occasion. But after that, his shows he wasn't getting offered that much, so he felt he was worth $120,000, but he wasn't getting it, so he was going months without working. And 5 months go by, he ain't taking no gigs because he wants his 120 bands. So now all of a sudden money's getting low, the hits ain't coming in. So he's like, I got to start doing shows back. I had to take the $12,000 to $10,000 shows because it was going broke. Then he went into like a depression. He was saying bro, the numbers ain't up no more. Yeah. You're trying to put out hits, but the market's not reacting to it. And I know almost 95% of artists go through that. No one has that longevity of a career. Very, very few handful of artists do. To have a longevity career where they're still very successful artists their whole career. Like most people have a trend, they go up and they go down. It's just the nature of the beast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think I think a lot of people that experience that view themselves in the wrong lens. They measure their success with the pinnacle of their success. Like obviously you throw a hit record on the board, it's a hit record. Trying to replicate it and go further every time, sometimes it ain't gonna hit. But if you could just do a fraction of what you did, like all right, he did a $120,000 show, but if he did a $25,000 show, that's not an unsuccessful show.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He spent $25,000 in a night.
But that's where he admitted to it. He in his mind he felt like he was not succeeding, so it got to his head. It got depressing, for him.
Yeah, you back off of it,
and you're like, I'm not taking that 25.
But that go back to that diving down that hole. You allow yourself to hold on to that, like, oh, I made this. It was so good at this time in my life. I'm gonna just think about that all the time instead of. I mean, I could probably get $15,000 tomorrow for a walk through and do this, and I'm not gonna let that go. And I feel like every musician is a stock. You got your own stock. Your stock could rise and fall, and it could fluctuate at all time like the price of gold, brother.
Look like Fat Joe, bro. Fat Joe, from what I was hearing, that had big hits, and there was a small time where it wasn't really going up for him, and then all of a sudden that nothing could stop me. I'm all the way up. His career turned right back up. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I'm saying that, and I'm not gonna throw him on the bus. He's always gonna be a legend, just because I remember.
That's a Fat Joe. I thought it was French Montana, bro.
No, it's Fat Joe.
Is it?
Yeah, that was Fat Joe, huh? Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
That's French Montana.
Nah, it's
Fat Joe had to lean back.
Yeah, that's Fat Joe doing songs. Do a fact check.
I could be wrong.
Do a fact check.
I could be wrong, bro. Where's our fact checker?
No. It might have been another song but I think it is Fat Joe did it. Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah, they featured.
Never mind.
But that song brought him back. I know. I think Empire and Gazi had something to do with that too.
Yeah.
And even all right, let's go back. Even like E40, bro. E40 had a lot of big hits growing up. I'm not gonna say his career declined or anything like that, but just say us growing up listening to him. There was a gap where I didn't really hear too much of E40 stuff coming up for a while. Then all of a sudden the hyphy movement came back around, and tell me when to go type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a stock. You can't take away someone what they have. Sometimes it might be up, sometimes it might be slower. Just like the weed game, any business. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down.
Definitely. Like at Mac Dre's peak, when Dre passed, like, man, there was a lot of backlash. Like 40 was making music that was the hyphy music that, like, Dre's the face of that pretty much.
I was gonna try to do another question, but I think we've been running
Yeah, we good, brother.
We've been we try to do the questions and find some content, but that's dope, bro. We don't even need that shit. I try to do that just in case we're like, man, we let's get in here and try to find content to talk about. We're both real busy, man. We got a lot going on. It's been hard to get in here to do this podcast, but like we were like we have to get in here and start doing this content. You know what I mean? So we're trying to find. We will do Q&As, man. But you see how a game once me and bro start chopping it up, you see how it goes down, man. And it's like this all the time. Sometimes we get in the studio and we end up chopping it up more about game and inspiration and ideas more than doing songs. So we need to
yeah, but do us a favor too. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and head over to Big Tone Music channel. Subscribe to him. He's almost to 100,000. We need to get him that plaque on the wall, that YouTube play button, man. Appreciate y'all, man. If you ain't subscribed to my channel also, go on over there, man. Check out the new music and the new videos. Yeah. Appreciate all the love and support,
Tell
man.
them the new album just dropped, bro.
Yeah, new album just dropped, man. We got the, damn, I don't even remember what the title. Oh, Big Step is on Tread Lightly.
You say you don't remember the title.
I got Big part Step. 2 on the way. We bumming with it, man. Turn on that thing too, man. Log in, tune in, bro. Appreciate you.
Stream the albums, man. NorCal Side and just drop, man. Come on. One love. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, like and subscribe, man. Two sides of the game. We out this bitch, man.
Boolest podcast in the motherfucking earth, bitch.